A very good evening to all of you. Hello and welcome, guys. My name is KP Singh, and I welcome one and all to the 26th episode of Weekly Law Scoop. Welcome, Aryan. Welcome, Aries. Welcome, Joji. Welcome, Arya. Well, I think there was some miscommunication regarding timing of today's session, so I would request all of you to post a message in your respective Telegram and WhatsApp groups so that others can join in quickly so that we can start. Okay, guys, can you please confirm if the audio is fine and all of you can see the screen? Thank you, Dikshita. I will quickly post one message in the GSL Telegram channel. Okay. Chale, guys. So without waiting further, we will start. Others can watch the recording if required. Okay, chaliye. Well, my name is KP Singh. I did my law from National Law School Punjab and masters from National Law School Kolkata. I'm a PhD scholar and I'm studying and exploring the areas of international law. I'm also running IMS Jodhpur Get Set Law Center. In order to select the best quality, click on the settings tab, then pick the best option available in your system. So let's say if it is to 720p, then click on 720p. Okay. So the very first news that I want to discuss today is related to Gangubai Kathiawadi. One of the adopted sons of Gangubai Kathiawadi has moved Supreme Court to get a stay on the screening of this film. Some of you might have seen trailer and some of you might be avoiding Sanjay Leela Bhansali movies. I don't know, but anyways, welcome Sakshi, welcome Heth, welcome Dikshita. Take care. Chale, guys. Okay. So, a film starring actor Alia Bhatt is facing legal trouble after some individuals claiming to be family members of Gangubai Kathiawadi have objected to her portrayal in the film. So, who was Gangubai Kathiawadi? She was a Gujarati lady born in Gujarat, Kathiawad region, but then she was sold off to a brothel in Kamatipura area of Mumbai by her husband. Kamatipura is, well, India's biggest and most notorious red light district. Ganga Harjivan Das Kathiawadi or Gangubai later on started climbing ladders of hierarchy in Kamatipura and she ended up becoming brothel owner. So she was operating the biggest brothel in Kamatipura. Later on, she turned her attention towards the plight of sex workers and she started leading marches, conducting protests, processions, and she became sort of a public leader. So she was lobbying for the rights of commercial sex workers in Mumbai, Kamatipura specifically, and in India in general. Well, Gangubai died in the late 70s and there were no natural born sons or daughters of Gangubai Kathiawadi. Then how come there are so many people claiming to be her descendants? Well, not because she is from Kamatipura or a sex worker, but the reason is that she adopted many kids in her lifetime. So, there were many individuals who claimed that they were adopted by her. And after this movie was announced, some of them started raising objections. Sanjay Leela Bhansali is quite infamous for such kind of publicity surrounding his movies. Can you name the previous project of Sanjay Leela Bhansali which had similar controversy? Welcome Riddhi. चलिए ओके संजय लीला भंसाली की पिछली मूवी भी इसी तरीके से कंट्रोवर्शियल रही. Padmavat. Was it Padmavati or Padmavat? Well, the original title was Padmavati, but after one incident, they decided to name it Padmavat. Okay. So even in Padmavat, many people, specifically some fringe groups and notorious groups like Karni Sena, started protesting. One of them even slapped Mr. Bhansali while he was shooting for this movie in Jaipur. So yes, Padmavati was changed to Padmavat. Smriti, you are correct. Trickster Padmavati was the original name. Yes, that's correct. Anyways, so why was that movie not prohibited or stayed by the court? Because that movie wasn't claiming to be a historical depiction of Rani Padmavati. Rather, director's claim was that I am basing my movie, or the story of my movie is based on a novel, a fiction called Padmavat, and hence it cannot be about that same person. Similarly, even in this case, they have relied on a novel. So this has become a very good loophole for film or movie makers if they want to bypass any future tussle with the legal heirs of such controversial figures. So many a times movie makers will ask somebody to write a book, then they will buy rights of that book from the author and then claim that my movie is based on the book and not based on that actual character. Okay. So petitioner in this case, the petitioner in this case is claiming that the trailer of the film has tilted after his mother. Now this movie is about her mother and a chapter in the book about her, and the trailer of the movie has shown her as a prostitute and a mafia queen. On the contrary, she was a social worker. So it claims that after the release of the film's trailer, many women members of his family who live in that same area, Kamatipura, have been subjected to objectionable, abusive comments by men, and hence their reputation got affected, tarnished, and therefore they are seeking remedy for defamation. Okay, अच्छा ये बताइए, is this defamation? How many of you think that Padmavati movie was a defamation of Rani Padmavati, or Gangubai Kathiawadi is a defamation of Gangubai? ठीक है, let's see. Alauddin Khilji portrayed was also not liked by many. Yes, correct. Aryan, you're right. Alauddin Khilji का portrayal लोगों को पसंद नहीं आया, especially अगर खिलजी जिंदा होता तो उसे खुद पसंद नहीं आता. After all, he was also a human being, not literally an animal as shown in the movie. Okay. So that is called masala part of the movies. This is writer's imagination. They can go to these extents. Anyways, आगे बढ़ते हैं. So what is defamation? There are provisions of various statutes which deal with it. Right now, the one which we should focus on is criminal defamation. That is what the legal heir of the lady is claiming. As per section 499 of the Indian Penal Code, defamation means whoever by words either spoken or intended to be read, or by signs or visible representation, that means in any manner possible, makes or publishes any imputation, that is an allegation, concerning any person intending to harm or knowing or having reason to believe that such imputation will harm the reputation of such person, is said to have defamed that person. Obviously, there are a few exceptions to the rule. चलिए, a question which should pop up in your mind right now is, if Gangubai Kathiawadi died in mid 1970s, then how can she be defamed? How can she be defamed? Can we defame a dead person? Is it possible to defame a dead person legally? Let's see what people have to say. Koshi says yes. Riddhi says no. Aryan says yes. Maybe. So can be right answer for everything. Maybe yes, maybe no. Well guys, as per IPC, correct answer is yes. But only, it will amount to defamation only if you impute something to a deceased person, if that imputation is such that if that person was alive, his reputation would have got harmed. तो आपको ऐसी बात बोल रहे हैं, अगर वो इंसान आज जिंदा होता तो उसकी reputation harm होती. And so here they have used word and not or. And is intended to be hurtful to the feelings of his family or other near relatives. So that means there are two essentials. First of all, your statement, your imputation should be such that it would tarnish the image of that person if that person was alive today. Along with that, there should be an intent to be hurtful to the feelings of the family or other near relatives. So was this the case in this movie? Or was it the case in Padmavat? In both cases, the answer would be no, and therefore, court has rightly declared that no injunction shall be granted. So Gangubai's son, Babuji Ravji Shah, first of all went to the local court where his case was rejected. Matter went to the High Court. Again, his plea was discarded. Civil Court in Mumbai dismissed his suit, filed for permanent injunction. What is injunction? What is an injunction? Injunction basically means an intervention of the court. When you want court to intervene and to stop the wrongdoer from continuing any wrongdoing. So for example, let's say आपने torts में भी defamation पढ़ा होगा, आपने criminal law में भी defamation पढ़ा होगा. In torts, we generally seek compensation, damages. In criminal law, we seek punishment for the culprit. Okay, so let's say if I'm making a statement here, looking at the comment section, if I say that Smriti is a thief, is this defamatory? Yes or no? It is. चलिए इसको थोड़ा simplify करते हैं. So there are three basic essentials if you look at this definition. First of all, defamation is when someone by words either spoken or intended to be read or signed or by visible representation makes or publishes any imputation. So आपको कुछ बोलना है, लिखना है, बताना है. You need to communicate in some way. So whatever you are communicating should be injurious in nature. Injurious means it is something which damages other person's reputation. Now, because we are looking at criminal defamation, intention will also be taken into factor. So here, either your intention was to harm, or you knew that it is going to harm, or you had reason to believe that it is going to harm the reputation of such person, then only it will count as defamation. So what if I am sitting alone in my room and chanting a mantra that Smriti is a thief, Smriti is a thief, Smriti is a thief? Will this amount to defamation? Will this count as defamation? So whatever I am saying is false. It is an injurious statement. It is about someone, but I missed out one essential component or ingredient, and that is communication. So until and unless it is communicated to a third party, no defamation will be caused. So let's say Smriti came to this room after hearing my voice and she says, sir, what are you saying? I am saying, Smriti, you are a thief. Will this count as defamation now? So I am continuing with that same example. So now Smriti and I are in the same room and I am putting an allegation on her that you are a thief. You stole my notes. Still answer is no. Okay. So we started arguing. So a couple of more people joined in and I am repeating my allegation that Smriti, you are a thief. Will this count as defamation? This time answer should be yes. Okay. चलिए इससे आगे बढ़ते हैं. Aryan says, if it is done publicly, then yes. Bandana says, no, it won't be counted. Only if it is not the truth. Yes, Sakshi, you're right. There are a couple of exceptions to this general rule. One exception to the offense of defamation is statement of truth. So if you are stating truth, your imputation will not be counted. Your allegation will not be counted as defamatory. For example, let's say you are shopping in the flea market, and suddenly a chain snatcher snatches your chain and starts running away. And you start screaming, thief, thief, thief. Let's say some people caught him. Can this guy sue you in the court of law for defamation? how can you call me thief in the middle of the market? There were so many people around and my reputation got tarnished. Answer would be no. Why? Because whatever you said was true. So, at the risk of offending some people, I will make a statement. Can I say that Sant Ram Rahim Singh Insan is a criminal? Is this defamation? I hope there is no Dera Anuyayi or Bhakt in this session right now. No, this is not defamation. Why no? Sachetan? Riddhi? Aryan says, who's that? Dude, you're missing out. Google about Baba Ram Rahim Singh Insan, also known as Love Charger. Okay. Yes, it is not defamatory because it is a fact. This guy was convicted in couple of cases and is right now serving sentence. Oops, my bad. Right now he is not serving sentence. He got parole because there is election in Punjab. Okay. Chaliye. Then again, after his parole period is over, this guy will go back to jail. ठीक है. So, let's come back to the case at hand right now. Family members of Gangubai Kathiawadi approached the court, claiming that after this trailer was released, people in my locality started taunting and passing lewd remarks about women of my family, and now we are facing harassment and we got defamed. Now, question is, can you defame a dead person? Answer is yes, but only if these two conditions are fulfilled. First, that the statement was such that it would have harmed the reputation of the victim or the plaintiff if that person was alive. Along with that, the statement was intended to be hurtful to the feelings of his family or other near relatives. So I don't think that second condition is fulfilled, and obviously director can also take support of the exception that is available to him and will be legally safeguarded. Okay. अच्छा, अगर इतना ही derogatory होता, do you think हमारा censor board इन चीजों को जाने देता? Censor board is also too sensitive. So many movies won't see the light of the day because those movies got blacklisted before they could be released. Chaliye, so this guy went to the High Court. Even in High Court, he got no relief. So he came to the Supreme Court filing SLP. What is SLP? Can someone give me the full form of SLP? In the relevant article of the Constitution, which empowers a person to file SLP. In many past weekly law scoop episodes, you might have read SLP. So let's find out what SLP is. Aries. Okay, it is special leave petition. So, which article of the Constitution talks about special leave petition? Which article of the Constitution talks about writ petition? चलिए, ये तो कॉमन है, आपको आना चाहिए. Which article of the Constitution of India talks about writ petition? Writ means command. Yes, Arya, that's correct. SLP means special leave petition. Now, second question was, which article of the Constitution deals with SLP? And third question is, okay, Article 32 deals with writ petition. Which article deals with special leave petition? हाँ, writ petition काफी लोगों को पता है, SLP नहीं पता है, तो find out. I will continue with this session. By the way, this SLP also got rejected, so this guy didn't get injunction. Supreme Court bench of Justice Indira Banerjee and Justice J.K. Maheshwari, while dismissing this plea, they have also made few observations. They said that the release of film Gangubai Kathiawadi will not be obstructed because they have got CBFC certificate. CBFC is Central Board of Film Certification, and therefore prima facie it shows that film is not defamatory. Okay, what is prima facie? Correct pronunciation is prima facie. So it is at the first sight or at the first sight. So love at first sight can also be called prima facie love. Anyways, at first sight, Prachi, that's correct. Sakshi, that's correct, on the face of it or at first sight. Court also observed that mere hurting of sensibility is not defamation. If I make a statement, let's say आपने किसी को देखा and you say that somebody wrote in the comment section, sir आप अच्छे नहीं लग रहे हैं, you look so ugly. I got hurt, but that doesn't mean that I can sue you and seek compensation. So something which might hurt your sensibility might not be defamatory as such. So if the person is said to be defamed is not when that person's character or credit is lowered, when his reputation, आपका मान सम्मान को जब हानि पहुंचती है, we call it मानहानि का मुकदमा. So when your reputation, your fame is tarnished, it is called defamation. Otherwise, just because you got offended, just because you got hurt, that will not amount to defamation. I hope this much is clear. We will move on to the next story. Okay. ठीक है, अभी तक SLP का आंसर नहीं आया है. Next one. Which of the following is a type of defamation? We are in the final phase of preparation and I believe everybody should know answer to all these questions that I ask now. Which of the following is a type of defamation? Your options are libel, slander, innuendo, all of the above. Libel, slander, innuendo, all of the above. Which of the following is a type of defamation? Okay, Riddhi has a question. Sir, for making the judgment based on the movie, will the judge have to watch that movie? Well, Riddhi, many a times, yes. If required, they will. Okay. Dikshita was the first one to answer. Joji says D. Devanshi says D. Sakshi says D. Aryan says D. Norzadian Domain says D. Sanika says D. Bandra says D. His correct answer is D. Okay. In earlier days, they used to say that slander is addressed to your ears and libel is addressed to your eyes. So, जो सुना वो slander, जो देखा, जो लिखा वो libel. But nowadays, this test has failed. Why? Because we have so many different types of communication. You know, there is Snapchat, there is WhatsApp, Insta के status है, Facebook है, Telegram है, बहुत कुछ है. So now we say if the defamatory statement was made in some transitory or fleeting manner, that means temporary manner, then it will be called slander. If it is going to have an impact for a longer duration, then it is called libel. So trick to remember would be short term is slander and long term is libel. So for example, let's say I go to a beach or sand pay with the help of a stick, I am writing again, Smriti is a thief. Will this count as libel or slander? All those of you who are from Mumbai would be able to relate to this. आपने भी बीच पे जाके कुछ तो लिखा होगा. So is this slander or libel? Okay, Dakshita says slander, but Badra says slander. Yes, that's the correct answer. Though it is written, but still it will be counted as slander. Why? Because it is temporary in nature. जैसे tide change होगा, it will go away. Okay, but Sanika was also standing next to me. She took a photograph, a pic of that insinuation, of that allegation, and she put it up on the notice board of the coaching center. Will that count as libel or slander? अच्छा, उससे भी एक step पहले, that photograph will be counted as slander or libel? The photograph or the picture which she took, will that be counted as libel or slander? This time answer would be libel. Why? That photograph will have a longer shelf life. Okay. I'm making a statement orally. मैंने सानिका से कहा you are a thief. Libel or slander? Slander. But because this session is getting recorded, this recording will serve as libel. What is innuendo? Option C. Most of you said all of the above is the correct answer. Then what is innuendo? Okay, innuendo means sarcasm when you are indirectly defaming someone. That means when I use positive words to convey negative meaning, that will come under innuendo. So for example, if I tell the smartest guy or let's say the stupidest guy of my team कि आपसे समझदार मैंने दुनिया में नहीं देखा. I'm being sarcastic here. So if let's say somebody has not taken a bath for a couple of days, आप उससे कहते हैं कि आज तो आप बड़े सुंदर लग रहे हैं, you're looking like Hrithik Roshan, you are actually making fun of that person. So innuendo is basically indirect allegation. Okay, hidden, subtle, indirect statement, double meaning. Double meaning Arya can mean many things. Chali, correct answer for this one is option D. We'll move on to the next story. Vishal Tiwari versus Union of India. So an advocate in India has approached the Supreme Court via PIL. PIL stands for, write down in the comment section what is PIL. Okay. So why is Vishal Tiwari in Supreme Court? This guy is saying that Supreme Court needs to direct the central government to take up certain steps with respect to Russia-Ukraine conflict. So Putin के वॉर में अब इंडिया के भी कुछ रोल दिलाने की विशाल तिवारी की तैयारी है. So he says in this petition that there are so many Indians stranded in Ukraine right now, and because of this warlike situation, those people have no means to come back to India, and therefore central government needs to take immediate action in order to safeguard their security, safety, their well-being, and their safe coming to our country. Not just that, government should also take care of their future needs. Why do Indians go to Ukraine? Ukraine is not like Switzerland कि आप घूमने जा रहे हैं. Why are so many Indians stranded in Ukraine? वहाँ कर क्या रहे हैं? Okay, answer to the previous question is correct. It is York. That's correct. PIL stands for Public Interest Litigation. Okay, bonus question. Can you tell me in which case was the concept of PIL recognized in a country? The very first PIL of Indian legal history. Find out the answer. You don't need to answer right now, but do mention it as a comment after this live stream ends. ठीक है, चलिए. Okay, PIL is Public Interest Litigation, and also name the judge who is considered the vanguard of the PIL movement or judicial activism in our country. Okay. So in this case, Vishal Tiwari is seeking directions to the Union of India to immediately take the effective diplomatic steps and measures for the escalation of the evacuation होना चाहिए, evacuation of the stranded Indian citizens, including students and families in Ukraine. हमें escalation और नहीं चाहिए, पुतिन ने काफी कर दिया. Okay, so in his plea, he has requested court to direct the central government that the central government ensures that the essential and emergency supplies like medical facilities, housing and lodging facilities, and supply of food to the stranded Indian citizens is provided by the government of India. And many people from India go to Ukraine to study or to pursue MBBS. Right? जब India में NEET का exam clear नहीं होता है, which is very tough, then people look for options. And countries like Georgia, countries like Ukraine, China are considered cheaper options जहाँ पे जाके आप अपनी medical studies कर सकते हैं. So there are so many people stranded there. Most of them are studying MBBS. Now another problem that those people are facing, Russia-Ukraine crisis तो काफी दिनों से it is stirring like anything, and many people were predicting that a war might break out any time. Then why were these people not coming back when there was time? Because medical program is very expensive, and if they come back to India and they can't go back to finish off their studies, a lot of money will get wasted. So in this plea, petitioner has also requested court to direct the central government to recognize degrees, MBBS degrees of these Indian students who studied from Ukraine through online mode. So if they come to India and they study through online mode, they shall be considered pakka doctors and not jhola chap, not quacks. Anyways, chaliye, let's move on. Justice Bhagwati is the correct answer. Prathimesh Shinde. Okay. Riddhi, Prathimesh, both of you are right. Chaliye, aage badhte. Next one. So, concluding remark for this story would be that government has a responsibility to protect the life and liberty of Indian citizens guaranteed under Article 21 of the constitution not only in its country but in foreign countries also. सिर्फ यहां पे ही नहीं, अब बाहर जाके भी इंडियंस को प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं. Okay. Well, and therefore government needs to take some steps in order to safeguard Indian nationals. Even last year when there was crisis in Afghanistan, India played a very heroic role in evacuating all the Indian nationals as well as some, rather not some, I should say many Afghanis from Afghanistan. Okay, a question for you guys. Dash is a Ukrainian region annexed by Russia. Your options are Donetsk, pardon me if the pronunciation is not right, Luhansk, Crimea or Donbass. Donetsk, Luhansk, Crimea or Donbass. Dash is Ukrainian region annexed by Russia. Let's see how many of you can get it right. Sarika says price of the flight provided to the student was also too high. That's also correct. That's also a valid concern. Answer this one. Projects channel BVB video BVB school. इतने अमेजिंग नाम कहाँ से लाते हैं आप लोग यार, बट चलिए एनीवेज. Crimea. Correct answer is Crimea, guys. Correct answer is Crimea. It was annexed in 2014. Riddhi, you're right. It was annexed in 2014. Then what about these other two regions? Well, Donetsk and Luhansk मिलके बनता है Donbass. So Donbass is the easternmost area of Ukraine, and 1/3 area of Donbass region is already under the control of militias which were supported by Putin, or you can say Russia. And recently, Vladimir Putin has officially recognized these two areas of Donbass, Donetsk and Luhansk, as countries. So, what is new name of these new countries? What is the name of these new countries? Yes, Prathamesh, partially correct. Donetsk is recognized as a republic, and even Luhansk is also recognized as a republic. So, DPR and LPR. Donetsk People's Republic and Luhansk People's Republic. Let's move on to next one. Correct answer for this one would be People's Republic of Donbass. Sachetan, because two countries were recognized, so right now answer would be LPR and DPR, but we don't know, might be they will also get annexed by Russia in near future and will become territories of Greater Russia. So, Vladimir Putin is on his mission to create Akhanda Russia. We should beware. Chaliye. Next one that I want to discuss is Ali Naushad versus Rashid and another interesting case law. So here, Kerala High Court, while delivering verdict in this particular case, have observed that section 122 of the Indian Evidence Act requires a revisit. So here's a provision which they want government to recheck and amend if they feel right. Judges have observed that section 122 is a legal weapon used by criminals to suppress their crimes, thereby affecting public interest. So itna bura section kaun sa yaar, which is a legal weapon used by criminals to suppress their crimes. Well, it's not that bad, by the way. It is section 122 of Indian Evidence Act. Section 122 of Indian Evidence Act 1872, which talks about communications during marriage. तो शादीशुदा लोगों के बीच में हुई बातें. No person who is or has been married shall be compelled to disclose any communication made to him during marriage by any person to whom he is or has been married. Interesting part. So when you are having chit chat with your friends, don't ask them what did your wife tell you, what did your husband tell you. They are not supposed to share that info with outsiders or others. So no person who is or has been married shall be compelled to disclose, shall be compelled word is important here, to disclose any communication made to him during marriage. अच्छा, यहां तक तो कंपेल्ड मीन्स आपकी कंसेंट इन्वॉल्व है. सो इफ आई वांट टू डाइवर्ज इंफॉर्मेशन आई मे, इफ आई डोंट वांट टू आई कांट बी कंपेल्ड टू. सेकेंड पार्ट इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट. नो पर्सन shall be permitted to disclose any such communication unless the person who made it or his representative in interest consents except in suits between married person or proceedings in which one married person is prosecuted for any crime committed against the other. आसान शब्दों में let's say husband wife के बीच में कोई भी बात हो, आप कोर्ट में you can't call one of them and compel that person or ask that person to give a testimony against the other. Why this rule is there? ये क्या बात हुई? So let's say if husband committed a murder, wife can't be called in as a witness, or if wife committed a murder, husband can't be called in as a witness. Well, because in India we believe in the notion of sanctity of marriage. सो शादी एक पवित्र बंधन है. एकता कपूर की सीरियल देखिए ज्यादा रेफरेंस के लिए. एंड देयरफॉर एनीथिंग रिलेटेड टू मैरिज इज सो पायस दैट गवर्नमेंट और लॉ एनफोर्समेंट शुड नॉट टच इट. एक्सेप्शन क्या दिया है? व्हेन वन ऑफ द स्पाउस डिसाइड्स टू गिव टेस्टिमनी अगेंस्ट द अदर फॉर एन ऑफेंस और अबाउट अ क्राइम which was committed against him or her. So if there is domestic violence, obviously you will go to the court and complain about your spouse. Okay, chaliye, let's. Riddhi gave a reasoning that it can be false. Well, that's not true. Anyways, आगे बढ़ते हैं. This case is also interesting. So one guy was murdered and there were only two good witnesses. One of them was an eyewitness, somebody who saw everything happening in front of his eyes, right? So here trial court had acquitted a murderer and victim's wife filed an appeal to the High Court of Kerala. So right now we are discussing what was decided by the High Court of Kerala. There were only two main primary pieces of evidence. One was a witness statement of the men who witnessed the entire incident, and second was the testimony of the wife of the accused. So wife of the accused had also deposed before the trial court. So wife of the accused ka statement was the sole evidence that prosecution had to prove the motive of the accused. What is motive, guys? Motive is your ultimate aim, objective, goal that you want to achieve. So it is an essential component of mens rea. So here in this case, the prosecution was claiming that accused brutally murdered the deceased or the victim, suspecting that the victim had an illicit affair with his wife, right? So इस केस में दो प्राइमरी विटनेस थे, एक आई विटनेस और दूसरा अक्यूज की वाइफ. अब यहां पे प्रॉब्लम क्या आती है? कोर्ट ने, ट्रायल कोर्ट ने दोनों विटनेसेस की टेस्टिमनी को डिस्कार्ड कर दिया. व्हाई? बिकॉज द फर्स्ट वन, द आई विटनेस, didn't respond in that situation in a manner that the court could consider reasonable. So हुआ क्या? जब कल्प्रिट ने विक्टिम को मारा, विक्टिम was stabbed couple of times with a knife in the neck. So eyewitness just froze. He didn't do anything. He didn't scream, he didn't shout, he didn't try to save the victim, nothing at all, as if nothing happened in front of him, right? So trial court discarded his testimony, calling it unbelievable on this very ground that this guy did not scream, he did not make any noise while watching a murder taking place in front of him. And because this behavior is strange and improbable, court will not believe what he is saying. So now we are left with only one witness, murderer's wife. So wife also disclosed everything willingly, but still court was under compulsion to discard that testimony because of section 122. Wife's deposition was also disregarded on the ground that it is protected communication under section 122, also called privileged communication. And because it is privileged communication, wife shouldn't have shared it in the court of law. And therefore, based on these observations, trial court acquitted the murderer. Trial court acquitted the accused. Interesting. So that is the reason that when this matter went to the High Court, they came down heavily on section 122. They are saying the section itself is being misused. Okay, yeah, Joji is saying, sir, but people can freeze and don't think reasonably under such circumstances. Yes, you are right, Joji. So this is what the High Court also observed. So when matter went to High Court declared that this was illogical on the part of the trial court to presume that people will behave in one standard format. You know, in case of crisis, there are three primary responses: freeze, flight, or fight. So either you will freeze, you will not be able to respond or react, कुछ सोच ही नहीं पाएंगे आप, or you will try to run away, or you will fight back. Isn't it? These are the three common things. There can be a fourth one, enjoyment. आपको अच्छा लग रहा है, अच्छा क्राइम हो रहा है, अरे बहुत दिन हो गए मूवी नहीं देखा, let me just enjoy myself. So what I'm trying to say here is that different people react in a different way, and we can't put one size fits all approach. That means we can't put everybody in the same bracket. कि जज को लगा अगर मैं खून देखता तो चिल्लाता, तो आप क्यों नहीं चिल्लाए? So this is a very wrong approach. So session judge had standardized the immediate reaction of an ordinary human being, that upon seeing an accident, that human being will rush towards the accident spot in order to rescue. आपने रोड एक्सीडेंट लाइफ में अगर कभी विटनेस किया है, डू यू थिंक पीपल रश टुवर्ड्स द रेस्क्यू, rush towards the accident spot? Many times they rush away from that place. Many times they just stop at that spot to see the commotion. क्या चल रहा है? Not really to help that person. So this generalization of human conduct was found palpably wrong and hence unsustainable. So पहले witness को लेके तो this is what the High Court declared. But with respect to the second witness, and second witness was wife of the accused, court declared that section 122 recognizes the age-old concept of marital confidence. But this section was introduced based on the Law Commission report, the English Commission of Common Law Procedure report of 1853. A law which was recommended in 1853. Do you think we need to follow it blindly even today? Now, judges have said that it is high time to reconsider the current position in the light of modern times. So, with changing times, law needs to evolve, otherwise it will become redundant, it will become outdated. Okay. So, while appreciating the sacrosanctity attached to the communications between spouses, court observed that now is the time to look at it with modern lenses. But because right now there is no such amendment in the statute book, court is bound to follow what is written in the statute book, and thus they also applied section 122 and they also discarded testimony of the wife. Okay, चलिए. So यहाँ पे भी wife की testimony को reject कर दिया गया, but nevertheless court decided to send copy of this judgment to the Ministry of Law and Justice and in a way request the Ministry of Law and Justice to look into it, and also they want Law Commission of India to initiate a discussion or research work on this issue. So what happened in this judgment? So finally क्या decide हुआ? Well, court judges are smart enough. They said that though we can't accept testimony of wife, but there is enough other evidence to conclude that the person was guilty, and the acquittal judgment or the impugned judgment of the lower court was discarded, and this guy was found guilty under section 300 of the Indian Penal Code, and now this guy will be serving a life sentence. How long will this guy be in jail? Life term कितने time का होता है? Your options are 10 years, 14 years, 20 years, 50 years, lifetime. Correct answer is lifetime. So if you have been given life term, that means you will die behind the bars. Okay. And court also directed him to give 2 lakh rupees as compensation to the wife and kids of the deceased person. Answer this one. Which of the following is not a privileged communication? Which of the following is not a privileged communication? Your options are communication during marriage, communication between advocate and client, communication with mother, None of the above. Okay, which of the following is not a privileged communication as per Indian Evidence Act? Communication during marriage, communication between advocate and client, communication with your mother, none of the above. C or D? Okay, correct answer is option C. Arya was the first one to answer this time. Communication during marriage. Okay, let me give an example, bonus question. Let's see how many of you can answer this one. Okay. ठीक है चलिए so Ritik got engaged to Kangana and during the courtship period Kangana told Ritik that she stole Salman's wallet when they were shooting for a movie. Now Ritik decided to file an FIR or to complain about this crime to the police. Will this be considered violation of privileged communication? Simple question. So Kangana confided or confessed her crime in front of Ritik, and Ritik, on the contrary, broke that sacred covenant and complained about it to the cops. No, this is not privileged. Why is it not privileged? Because they are not married. So it says communication during marriage. Okay, let's say I got divorced from my wife and now I am cribbing about my spouse to a friend, and I told him that once she confessed that she killed one of her neighbors and the dead body was buried in her backyard. Is this violation of privileged communication? Violation of privileged communication? Yes or no? Okay, Arya says after getting married can't complain. Now, I'm not complaining about marriage. Arya, again answer is no. So communication during marriage is considered privileged communication. So once you get divorced, you are free to crib about your ex-partner. Beauty of law. Okay, chaliye. So communication between advocate and client. Okay, chaliye. So let's say a guy visits a local court and he's looking for a good criminal lawyer. So he approaches A, B and C. He goes to advocate A and tells him, sir, I recently killed a guy and his dead body is in my fridge. Can you help me get rid of it and get out of this situation? Lawyer immediately rushes to the nearest police station and narrates the entire incident. Will it be counted as violation of privileged communication? Will it be counted as violation of privileged communication? Yes or no? No, yes, no, no. This is not violation of privileged communication. Why? Because first reason, that person is not having an advocate and client relationship with me. Why? Because he is just inquiring about lawyers. He has not signed power of attorney with any one of them. What is power of attorney? Vakalatnama. When you authorize somebody to be your representative in the court of law. Okay. What if a vakalatnama was signed and then Vakil Saab or advocate A decided to report it to the police? What will happen now? Well, now it will be counted as, Sakshi says, because the lawyer was not hired. Yes, correct. But what if a vakalatnama or power of attorney was signed and then the lawyer, then the advocate decided to report it to the cops? Will this be counted as violation of privileged communication? Yes, yes, yes. Again, answer is incorrect, guys. Why? Because there are few exceptions. Laws में आपको exception बहुत मिलेंगे. And one exception is that if that communication is related to furtherance of a crime. What is furtherance of a crime? इसको थोड़ा सा change कर देते हैं. Let's say if the client told me that, sir, I killed someone by accident or because of vengeance last year, and now I am facing a trial. Can you help me out? Can you represent me? lawyer will happily represent that client, and lawyer will be duty bound not to tell others whatever was confided, to him. But in the previous situation, lawyer is not barred. Why? Because client is telling him about a crime which he will commit later on. And what is that crime? Destruction of evidence, burying a dead body. So if you're aware of a crime which is about to happen, let's say you got a terrorist as a client, and that terrorist told you that I'm planning to commit a few serial blasts in this city next Shivratri. These are the spots which I picked. So obviously there will be cases against me after investigation. Please save me in future. Now what are you supposed to do? Take the fees and stay mum, or will you report it to the cops? Again, answer is yes, it is crime of furtherance. That means you can report it to the cops, and no client lawyer privilege will be broken or breached. Chaliye guys, so with this note, correct answer for this one is option C, communication with mother. With this note, this quick session comes to an end. I hope you guys liked it. If you want me to cover any particular topic in the next class, please let me know. Leave a comment after this live stream ends. I will try to cover that topic in the next live session. Thank you so much for attending. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys got to learn something new. So if you like what we are doing, click on the like button on your screen. It will not cost you anything. And feel free to share and subscribe. याद रखिए, बांटने से ज्ञान बढ़ता है और सब्सक्राइबर्स भी. So keep learning, keep enjoying. Bye guys.